What's good, everybody? What's good? Welcome to another episode of Beer with the Boys. I am your host, the captain of the Bullet Club, and it's another day, another episode. Feeling good, feeling great. It's all. Braggadocious today. It's Super Bowl champion. The Eagles won them up. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk about pro wrestling, and we got a really good topic today that everybody's going to enjoy. And I think me and this man I'm about to bring in first, the butcher of the Bullet Club, got a lot to say about this. So, what's going on, man? What's going on?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Just another blessed Thursday, man. Just another blessed Thursday.
Amen, amen, amen. So, man, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a lot to talk about. Is you ready before we bring in the...
Listen, man. Listen. If you know the history, I can explain the history. Well, let's just say that I've been watching AEW from the beginning. I've been seeing it to where it's now. There's a lot that I got to get off my chest to say about this company, man.
And I can say I watched from the jump too, and I've told some people, I said, yo, when they first started, let's see what they like. When they first started, I said, yo, let's see where they're gonna be at that time, that next year. And there were circumstances that happened between, but had they recovered?
We gonna find out. We gonna find out.
Now let's bring in our brother, the enforcer, the man that keeps order, who tries to keep order. One man you don't want to piss off. What up, enforcer? What's going on, brother, man? How you feeling?
What's good? I'm here.
What's up, man?
So
what's up?
He's gonna try to be on his best behavior tonight.
Oh, he gonna be on his best behavior. We all gonna be on our best behavior. We better be. We better be.
So, how you doing? Good. How's everything going? How's life? How's everything? How's the mental health? How's everything moving?
Everything's all right. Everything's good. My children's supposed to be in bed right now, but you know. So yeah, everything's good.
Cool. So it's been a lot going on in the wrestling world, you know.
Yep.
WWE 2K26 travel drop for that.
Snooze.
So, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna be the dude to say it, but all they did was reskin the park. That's all they did. Reskin the park. It's 2K. They're not gonna do too much, but like, all right, cool. That's nice. It's cute.
Man. We got the assets, we got the models. We ain't reusing nothing. We just gonna keep that shit the same, bro. There's no need for us to go ahead and try to make something new. We just gonna use what we got.
If it ain't broke, don't freeze.
Hey, man, that's just how life is sometimes.
I mean, why not? But like I said, we're on the road to WrestleMania now. But we're not.
We gotta make a stop at the Elimination Chamber first. But that's another story for another day.
Well, we had me and the butcher. We had a side conversation about this topic. Like we always had this conversation, and this is gonna probably take up a lot of the show. This is the only topic we are speaking about tonight. AEW in its entirety, like we all said. Somebody asked 2 episodes ago, if I'm not mistaken, where do we see AEW in the next few years? And I'm gonna hold my thoughts. I'm gonna let the butcher have his.
No, I was gonna let you go first. Cause
you go first?
Yeah, I'll let you go first.
I feel like I feel like at the rate AEW is going on, I said this in the beginning, way before the man that's going to remain nameless. He said we're not going to speak of this show. While he was in control, I felt like AEW had a fighting chance, not to dethrone. He would think, oh, they want to put him out of business. I never thought they could put him out of business because WWE is a powerhouse. You can't. WWE had to be trash for the neck, but at that time, for 10 years, for AEW put a dent in it. So they could have been a healthy competition, but they was too busy making jokes about WWE, and they gave WWE a leg up, and they stomped them. They're squashing them right now. So now it's like they're losing stars. They lost half. They're losing everybody. They're losing damn near everybody. Mm-hmm. It's like Impact in the early 2000s. It's like when Impact lost AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, the Dudleys. When you start losing your core, it's pretty much down here. You're not going to recover.
Well, I want to sit here and say it's your core that they're losing. They're starting to lose the homegrown talents that they have been developing for the last few years. They still generally have their core, but they're starting to lose the thing that made AEW what AEW is supposed to be.
And I agree. And I feel like now it's like you and people aren't too happy with Tony Khan. Like a lot of people not too happy with him. So it's like now it's like you move from doing big arenas to small arenas, which isn't bad. They should have been doing small ones in the beginning. They should have been doing it in the beginning. So it's like, okay, now it's like I don't know what AEW is going to be this time next year. I don't know. Are they gonna completely fall off? I don't think Tony Khan's dad is gonna let that happen because I know he owns the Jags. I don't know if he's gonna. I think he will take over before he allows AEW to go completely under because AEW, for what it's worth, it's a healthy alternative to WWE. It's a healthy alternative. Go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
So here's my question on that. Okay. You didn't answer one of my questions. Well, you didn't answer the question, but the venue size they changed from big arenas to small arenas, obviously because they can't fill them.
Correct.
As well as WWE can. So when you're speaking about the what was it? What was it, Bryce? The talent? You said the talent was moving.
The up and coming homegrown talent.
So your money draws are the ones that are getting your money right now is what? Mercedes Moné and like maybe 3 or 4 others, correct?
Correct.
I would say the big money makers currently right now in AEW would be your Kenny's, your Wills, your Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Mercedes Moné, and honestly, off the top, that's one of the issues I'm gonna dive into with AEW.
It's probably like Okada or something like that, right?
Yeah, I can't even say Okada at this point.
Really, it's interesting.
I can't say I with how he's being booked, honestly.
Right. As opposed to how he first came in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say right now. I can't say Okada, but that's not his fault, and that's something I can go into more when we get dwelling more and more into the AEW situation.
So,
but like those are like there's only 3 people off the top of my head going off of AEW right now. Now, like these are your money makers, these are your merchandise sellers. Hey, this is what I'm tuning in to watch the show. Because at one point, John Moxley was a guy that was a money maker,
right?
But you see how that's going with him right now.
Right. So the reason I was trying to get that straight. Talking about the billionaire Tony Khan. The only if you're talking about he's not going to let them lose the finances. Is he going to pull it out of his own pocket? Because if the people don't want to watch it, then HBO is going to take it off of Max, right? So on and so forth. And by the way, Max was I feel like it was a smart move because it's not one of the bigger streaming sites,
right?
So you can get a better deal with them, and it's not attached to like Netflix and Hulu and stuff.
And I say that because Tony Khan's dad, like he owns the Jags, and I feel like as a businessman, and you look at your son, like because his dad helped fund AEW in the beginning. He's the Bucks cool with TK, and Bryce, correct me if I'm wrong. They went to TK like, help us fund this because it was just the All Elite show for pay-per-view. And
so yes, so the very first AEW related pay-per-view, which was fun fact, was not even with AEW. It was through ROH. They just needed more funding because that was one of the biggest topics in the future was if ROH was to go on and it would get bought, ROH had the tapings for that very first pay-per-view. That's where that dispute between WWE and AEW with Tony Khan came into fact because whoever bought Ring of Honor, whoever had Ring of Honor, had that very first pay-per-view taping in their library.
And WWE being petty, they would have charged him an arm and a leg for it. But going back to what I was saying, like TK's dad, the owner of the Jags, he would step in before he lets his son lose his show. Like, you're not losing this. Like, I'm not going to let you go out. Give it to me. I'm going to find some wrestling heads to run this. You step your ass down, and we're going to move accordingly. Because I just don't see him allowing. That's like your kids have a car. Like, before I let you wreck this car, I'm gonna take it from you and it says somebody else before I let you this whole situation up.
So if that's the case,
talk to me.
First of all, if that's the case, on some, I'm not going to let you lose this product.
Come on, I know
if that's the case.
Talk to me.
How can you possibly keep your audience up to snuff if no one's paying for the product? You have to do certain things differently or better, whatever the case may be. Because at first it was like this was basically like the retirement home for XWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want the one last quick run, go to AEW.
Are we ever gonna stop saying that a wrestling promotion is a place for XWE wrestlers? Because they were saying
so this is what I'm going to say. And this is what I'm going to say. When I said at first, that's what I meant. At first, that's what it was like because Paul White showed up, Mark Henry showed up, et cetera, et cetera. And
but
then
they were doing a lot more stuff behind the scenes.
Yep,
I get that. I understand it. That's not my point. Because it's the same thing. Like, you had to, and it's rightfully so. You brought XWE's people who have 20 plus years in the game to help you create this thing. There's nothing wrong with that. What I'm saying is, at first, it seemed like that's what they were doing. XWE talent would come over here and either be like on their way out, or like this is a space for them to be the head honcho. Like Big Bill, really? Like, we all know that's Cass. So it's like he changed his body shape. He learned how to talk on the microphone. AEW worked for him. You get what I'm saying? So if your money makers can't pull enough because WWE is like a titan walking around and you just can't get your place, like, what are you missing that WWE? And it's not just because WWE has been around for so long. There's something else that AEW isn't doing. So I'm very new to AEW. It's not a product that I watch often, but I sat down and watched a full episode, and there's some things that I saw that I was like, okay, and I only have WWE to go against as far as the comparison. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, when you talking about this money stuff, I'm looking at things that, let's see, okay, what did WWE do? Like, whether it be film, whether it be venue, whatever the case may be, as opposed, like, in comparison to what AEW is currently doing and what can be done better, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's what when you talk about how losing money, like I think that the product itself is losing itself.
I feel like money. I feel like with AEW, like, once you lose the fans, I think you lost them. It's hard to get them back. Because, like, people don't want to continue to pour money into something that they're not passionate about. It's kind of like, I feel like it's going way back. Back in the ECW days, they ran one arena, the ECW arena in South Philly. They ran that arena. They had rabid fans. Like, I think AEW got too lost in, we want to compete with WWE. We got to compete. Like, y'all forgot to run your own race. It's impossible to. It's like trying to get some stats that you can never get because they've been playing longer than you. Like, you're never going to catch up with WWE. Like I said, WWE has to be trash for at least 10 to 20 years for anybody to catch up with them. But even from a financial standpoint, they're with Netflix. They get all these business ventures that they locked in. AEW, you're not even in that bracket.
Well, I'm going to counter that statement, Tony. The reason why I'm going to counter that is because a lot of people on the internet, Twitter, Facebook, whatever platform they be using, are coming from your perspective of, is WWE, AEW, you're on this side of the fence or you're on that side of the fence. I come from the perspective, because I used to be a WWE fan and I moved to AEW. But as I got older in the wrestling scene, I'm sitting here like, why can't we not have both of these existing? And I get where you're coming from, that AEW in the beginning was doing everything they could to take a shot at WWE. Hell, even during the COVID era, where both companies were at a point where they can't put on shows in front of live crowds and were doing empty arenas, they were still taking shots. But at the same time, that was a good point for both companies to figure out what they want to do, what they want to do in the future, and try to have both of these companies try to exist at the same time. I see WWE as a product of wanting to be entertained, and I see AEW as a product of if you want to watch athletes wrestle.
Right?
No, I don't agree with the athlete part. I know what you're trying to say.
The reason why I say athletes because you get. I feel when it comes to WWE, no, sorry, not WWE. With AEW, my fault. You get more
tricks.
I want to say tricks. You get more. There's a lot more. I feel like there's a lot more technical wrestling on AEW than on WWE.
Okay. The reason I went against the athlete part is because there's athletes in WWE too.
Yeah, I guess that's my fault. I picked the wrong word.
Yeah, you're good. I was also, you can venture to say even with the women's division, it's way more athletic than AEW from what I'm looking at.
Because I hear a lot of people talking. They say the AEW, they give you 5-star matches but no story. WWE gives you story but no 5-star matches. And like people tell me that in WWE you get invested in the story that builds up into the match.
Yeah,
these matches, these 5-star meaningless 5-star match on a random episode of Dynamite. Like, why is Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega's giving us a classic on a random Dynamite? Shouldn't it be saved for a pay-per-view? I'm like, and
I feel like that goes into the mindset of the philosophy of what they believe wrestling is. If I'm going out there,
it's on go all the time.
I'm not leaving 50-20. No, I'm at 100% every match that I'm going to be in and competing in.
Exactly.
I know that I can put on a good match, and I'm going to. If I have to carry the match by myself, I will. But if my person I'm going against can keep up with me, we're going to have a banging ass match. Versus, like you said, Tony, it's all about build up story, and then you might get a 5-star match from WWE every now and then, but a lot of the payoff of the match or the story kind of falls flat.
Because it's kind of
so the thing about.
Go ahead, John.
I'm sorry. The thing of the difference that I've watched between AEW and WWE, I agree with you. The WWE, a lot of them are more actors than they are athletes.
Mm-hmm.
Where AEW, they're more athletes than actors. So you get what you may feel is like a cheesier product at AEW as opposed to WWE is like, because sometimes like, no, these guys is really acting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's like that a lot of times it's the contrast between them. And because it's national television, even international, whatever case it be, everybody loves to see a story, and people like, you make me believe that this is really happening. Just like soap operas or anything else. It's like reality television. Whereas in AEW, everybody's kind of corny. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just about everybody over there is there. I see some gems, but for the most part, some of these things they're doing are corny. And from what I'm watching now, it's gotten a lot better over time. I think people are getting more comfortable in their own skin and so on and so forth. Like this Harley Cameron, like she's gritty and she's hilarious.
Dog,
you know what I'm saying? She's gritty in the ring and she's hilarious.
You should have. I fell in love with Harley when she did that promo with Thunder Rosa. That was the funniest thing I've ever seen because to give some backstory, there's a wrestler on AEW by the name of Hologram. And I don't know where she got it from, who she talked to, but she pulled up with a hologram mask in front of Thunder Rosa and said that she's the long lost sister of Hologram. And Thunder Rosa broke character and started laughing. She's almost like female R-Truth, which she's gonna do everything in her power to make you break.
And I like that y'all said that because the person that did it for me is Tony Storm. Because I wasn't a big Tony Storm fan until I seen Timeless Tony Storm. And I think I talked to you, Butch. I'm like, bro, this is classic. Like this is amazing. Like the whole thing.
And mind you, she went from being pied in the face for no reason on WWE and then getting fired to now putting on one of her best characters I've ever seen her
and
ever
then
seen.
She does a whole shtick where she's back to her old self, but she's a rookie, but she's Thomas Tony Storm playing the character of herself as timeless Tony Storm. This he goes back to time. I'm like, this is freaking genius.
Like that's one of the things I like about AEW, and this is what going back to the topic earlier, Jock, about some of the things that in AEW that are good is the characters. Like I said, there are some people that they give time to develop and let them grow and grow the character and the story that they have along with itself. The issue with AEW is they don't give it to everybody. And I know Kenny Omega, he said it somewhere. I can't fact check myself, but I think he said in an interview that he said a lot of people in AEW would not be hired or would not be in that bad locker room. To some extent, I see where he's coming from because that's a lot of money and a lot of people are paying to be here. But at the same time, if you want to have a wrestling product for everybody to get used to, you're gonna have to put individuals in the limelight to shine. And this is why I like Toni Storm's character, because this is a year-long character arc that she has been on.
And it's so good. It's like, but it goes back to the topic what we were speaking about. How much time does AEW have? Can they recover? Because if like Bryce said, like AEW is the last straw for him. He's like, we talk private, like this is the last straw. AEW leaves, we're right back to square one. And people always still got TNA. WWE works with TNA.
They technically own TNA at this point.
It's like
I don't care what anybody says.
Like, I don't think they own it.
But here's
don't give us some time. Give us some time.
The thing, though, we still are getting force fed WWE. We're still gonna see. You don't think Bianca Belair gonna be over there? You don't think Bayley's gonna pop up? I doubt Roman and the Uso, but you think WWE guys ain't gonna pop up? But it's like, and I say AEW is healthy competition because if some way they get it right and become back to being that opposable threat to the WWE, they'll be fine. I just like the competition. I don't want just because before AEW came around, we had WWE for almost 20 years. Like it was nothing but WWE. They were battling themselves. Then Vince McMahon, he screwed us over NXT because NXT at one point was better than the main roster.
Black and gold
NXT was better than the main roster.
It was.
That was NXT 2.0. God.
And then Vince McMahon, he like, yo.
No, it was NXT. Oh, what's 2.0 to you?
That was NXT. No, he called it NXT 2.0.
Oh, the color era.
The rainbow era. That was after. Yeah, that was after.
That was pandemic. That was Thunderdome.
It was 2.0. Yeah, you're right.
This question, I'm like, it's like Vince McMahon, he never wanted NXT anyway. So Triple H took it and made it what it was. And Vince McMahon being that, have the ego, it's like we can't get rid of this man's name. He saw that I don't like this. This is better than my product. I'm gonna screw it up. And he did it. And now people don't mess with NXT because he ruined it. He made it so bad that people are like, I don't even like this. But let's get to our first question today.
But people like NXT now though.
So the first question of the day coming from Henry Irwin says, I don't think they can recover. The main event scene is all OWW stars: Edge, Christian, Jericho, Lashley, and Benjamin. Now I will say that I do agree with this.
And the VP.
There's more, but just
soon to be Cedric.
So no, God no. You know what I said.
I know.
Just because you got a brand new toy, don't mean we got to go back to the store and buy another one. Tony Khan, that's something else I'm gonna get into later today.
But that's but that billionaire playboy, that's what he do.
I digress. Now the question that he posted, or the segment that he just posted, that Henry posted, is kind of true. There is a lot of people in WWE from the WWE that's in AEW that is in the main event scene. But to the detriment, I know people are tired of seeing these guys, but why would I let someone like a Jericho, Benjamin, Lashley, Edge, or Christian come to my product where I can use you to help build my newer guys? For example, a lot of people people do not know or never heard of X Wrestler versus Jericho. For example, if I was to tell, for example, for you, Ja, if I was to come and ask you, hey, Ja, do you know who Bandito is?
I say yes now.
You would say yes now. But if I would have asked you that question 3 weeks ago, what would you have said?
Or even a year ago.
A year ago, absolutely not.
Yeah. So this is why
3 weeks ago, possibly because I know who he's dealing with right now.
Yeah. So again, this is why this is a positive for
I feel
AEW because
I feel you. I agree
can
with it.
I can use these XWE stars to help put these other guys in the limelight. That way I can start promoting them more on my shows.
Here's what I don't like. Jericho wrestling. Stop. I'm okay with all the pushes and all this. I get it. I understand. I appreciate he's been doing it for the last 5 years or so now because his age has really been a thing. For me, aesthetically, he's just not. It's not working for me. He looks like he's like on the way out, bro, and I'm just like.
And this is a good way because if I'm on my way out, I at least want to help elevate younger talent.
No, I agree. I'm just trying to understand his presence. Sometimes I understand he's the mouthpiece of his group. It was an inner circle, I believe, right?
Yeah.
No, it's the learning tree.
Learning tree.
Now it's the learning tree. See, these guys got like 14.
Here we go. That's enough. We're gonna get to. We're gonna get to.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to. We're gonna get to. We're gonna get to.
Here's the thing.
I'm gonna let it go.
Here's the thing. I get it in the beginning where you bring a Mox in, you bring an ex-WWE guy because you gotta have names. It's like you battle, you dance. You know, if you got a big battle on that battle card, people gonna probably show up to your event. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got a big name on your battle list, like, oh, this person, you know, that could bring. If you know your event could pull in like 100 people, now 200 people gonna show up, and now that's more money in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? So I get a Mercedes Moné in the beginning. You already got yourself established. It's like building a team. It's like football. Jaden Daniels. Okay, you got your good quarterback. Your team got to the NFC Championship game. Now just build around that and then move for. Don't start bringing a bunch of old niggas from that who can't perform well. Draft young, get some vets, and like because you got the core, you got the people there. Just build around them. Like Jericho name don't hold enough weight to put nobody over no more. Beating Jericho ain't like
it doesn't.
It's not like it's like you're not putting nobody. Oh, it's not like okay, you beat Bobby Lashley. Maybe you get the rub from that, but it ain't like if you send like you get a woman gets more pull from beating Mercedes Moné than somebody beating Chris Jericho. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
I agree.
You're not wrong.
I agree with that statement because look at what Mercedes Moné has been doing over the last past.
Look
what she's been doing.
That's my point.
And a lot of people
look at it.
And a lot of people. I'm about to say a lot of people don't like what she's doing. But if you think about what she's doing and the reason why she got, I don't know why she got so many damn titles. But if you understand what she's doing, she's like, hey, if I go to this industry, if people know who I am. I got this title from England. I can go to Red Pro. You gonna watch me wrestle in Red Pro. You gonna see somebody that you ain't never seen before. I got a New Japan title. I'm gonna go to New Japan and wrestle their top talent. Now that you don't like me or you want to see me wrestle to lose the belt, you're gonna be interested in trying to figure out who I'm gonna be facing in New Japan. She's doing the best that she can to put other women wrestlers in the limelight outside of her company, outside of WWE.
Yep, and it's kind of like I go back to it, and I hate that it happened this way. WrestleMania 31, 31, where it was Taker versus Bray Wyatt. I'm like, Bray Wyatt could have took that streak and would have elevated it, but it would elevate him. But we probably wouldn't have got the Fiend. But I'm like, why have Brock Lesnar? What did that do for Brock Lesnar? That's what I'm saying. Like that's how I feel about Jericho. Putting somebody like that doesn't do anything for anybody. It's like
it did something for Brock. In the sense of like, but we're not gonna, in the sense of continuing to push the lore that is Suplex City. Okay, it pushed that It pushed that. It didn't push him to like some extra level of greatness. It's just, yeah, he did. He hasn't. He's for me in the last however many years, he's been a plateau of a man, except for when he became Country Brock when he elevated a little bit. But it's like his skill set didn't change.
No,
if anything, like, he's stopped doing most of the stuff that he used to.
Yeah, and I feel like now if what's her name, Queen Aminata, I've butchered baby girl name, and she beats Mercedes Moné, that'll help her.
Yeah, that'll elevate her. That'll elevate her.
That's why I'm really hoping that Harley wins in her home country, because that'll make Harley. And it
will push her.
But here's the issue that I have with AEW with these type of situations. It happened with Heyman Page. It happened with all your top baby faces of the company. And I feel like if you book them so well, you tell this story, you make us believe in them. And when they win, you don't do nothing with them. You don't do nothing with them.
Yeah.
You don't. You make me. You get me invested for the win, and I want to see them keep winning and keep going more as a champion. But, and this is going to tie into my issue with AEW and the newer talents, you don't push them, you don't elevate them, you don't let them grow in the light. For a perfect example for this is Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks has had multiple opportunities in AEW to be a top babyface, top heel with a top title. The only
they sent Cope to bury him. they sent Cope to bury that man.
Punk did it first, but now I digress.
I know Punk did. Yeah, he may have done it first, but
Punk did it
he
first.
made sure he put a tree on that bad boy. He grew a tree on that man. Like,
but as I'm saying,
dang,
like,
Edge, relax.
Me and Tony till this day, our favorite clip of Ricky Starks. It's gonna be absolute Ricky Starks. What's it? Danhausen for the FCW. What time?
Danhausen. He did it perfectly. He did it perfectly. That was hilarious.
That shit, I'm like, I love this dude. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if you're a heel. You my guy.
So,
bro, you know what my Ricky Stark moment was? Bitch, I am black.
That was glorious.
So okay, so I have another one for y'all. It's when we're talking about the next 5-10 years for AEW.
Okay.
Do you believe that if they continue with the product that they're displaying right now and stay in these smaller venues, that they'll be able to survive? Will they have to downsize because like they just picked up this Max stream, obviously because of Netflix and WWE, so they picked up this stream site. Go ahead.
My honest opinion when it comes to that is, yes, going to smaller arenas was a good move.
They should have been in smaller arenas.
They should have been, but that's an ego check. That's an ego check that they tried it. The ego got hurt. They started realizing that this shit ain't working, and they just had to make the decision to cut back. Now, if I'm at a company, and Joff, your question that you asked is kind of iffy because if I'm a company and I'm selling and I'm doing small shows for the next 5 years, it's not about can I keep drawing people's attention to my shows. It's about what am I bringing to my shows to keep you coming over the next course of the years. If I am in smaller arenas but I'm still selling you the same product, why would I come to your event? Because if I know that this is going to be the same thing over and over again, it doesn't matter if you're big, small, large, or just two people arenas, heck, someone's backyard. If you put it on the same product, I'm going to lose this interest and I'm going to go somewhere else that I will be more connected to or have more entertainment from.
You know what?
Where do you feel is the quote unquote same thing over and over?
Okay, I want to piggyback before I answer that. I might piggyback off what Bryce said. I feel like, it's kind of like outgrowing clothes and outgrowing stuff. you can't fit that shirt no more, but you like, all right, I need to get a new jacket, another jacket. I need to get a new one. So I look at it like this: until you outgrow what you're getting, you say, okay, say they start off in smaller arenas. Okay, we're expanding, we're selling out. Okay, we're doing. Bryce, you from Dallas? We from the same city.
Yeah.
Gilly's place down in downtown. That place, all way to do shows in there, and that place isn't that big. So like, if okay, last time we was here, we had like, let's say they do like 500 whatever seats. Okay, gotta add more. Okay, we can't fit the spot no more. We gotta go to a bigger spot. Then when we have to go there, so we gotta go to a bigger spot. Now we probably
which is honestly the way that AEW should have done it from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. They should have did that.
Yes.
But back to your question, I'm gonna answer that. What you saying, John? What were you saying about that?
What was your question previously about the same product? What is the same thing being?
Yeah, I'm talking specifically for Bryce. Yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
So like for me, from watching AEW over and over again, you start to realize a certain trend of what's the word I'm looking for? It's a certain trend of repetitiveness. Okay. It's like I'm getting the same individuals in the top contender scene, and I'm getting the same. I'm trying to get the words. It's like if you for example, look at Ken. If I was to look at Kenny Omega's run as AEW World Champion, and I looked at Jon Moxley's run as AEW Champion right now, they're exactly the same. It's the top guy in the company with a faction, not defending the title, not taking any challenges, and then at some point, the big baby face that you're booking is going to come up, climb his way to the top, dethrone the top reigning champion, but then he's not going to have good matches, and then you're going to put it on the heel again, cycle of peaks, you got babyface, top heel, ladder, rinse, repeat. It's the same, because it's like if it's not broke, don't fix it. I get it, but you're doing the exact same thing just with different people.
So they're doing what? So they're letting the heels be the ringleaders as opposed to the faces.
Yes, and like being real, when Hangman Adam Page won his first title for the AEW title against Kenny Omega, it was a good story, good booking, good everything, but it's the story that you told afterwards that falls flat, because now that he got the title, I don't have much faith and belief in Hangman Adam Page as the babyface champion. And then he has to go and drop the belt to a heel who honestly does a lot more in 2 to 3 months than Hangman Page did in 6.
And I just feel like at this point, with them losing people, you got to go back and reevaluate yourself. Like, you got to have that meeting like how we're doing now. Like, yo, when we going to be at the next 5 years? Because WWE is to the moon right now. They passed the moon. They on another stratosphere. Like,
well, the first thing he needs to do is he needs to look at his roster, and he's gonna have to make a tough decision.
Yep.
He's gonna have to let some people go. There are too many people on the. I'm not trying to be mean when I'm saying this. There are too many people on the payroll that are not doing nothing. They're either injured or they're just in catering. The prime example of why I'm saying this, you don't want another Penta or Ray Phoenix situation on your hands, where Penta wrote his contract out, did what he needed to do. His last hits came up, got signed WWE, Win did his thing. I'm supportive of him. But then you get a situation like Ray Phoenix, where now he's doing everything in his power to go against you so he can leave this company and go on to bigger and better things. But you are being very You're acting like your competition was back in the day when people wanted to jump from WWE to AEW. No, I don't want you to leave. You still on a contract.
So he's
Pay the contract out. Let them go. It's gonna hurt you. It's gonna suck, but you gotta let them go and pursue other things in their life. Because if I'm not using a Ray Phoenix, if I'm not using a Keith Lee, if I'm not using Malachi Black, or not being able to do what all these other people wanted me to do, and you're not giving it the time, I gotta make the tough decision. Be like, hey, like Kenny said, a lot of people shouldn't be here right now, and a lot of people want to get cut, and it sucks.
And to go
Let me ask you a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead, Cap. Go ahead.
I feel like with Tony Khan, it was like I told our boy Judas, I said, Tony Khan is becoming everything that he hated with Vince McMahon. Because like I said, Vince would do the same thing. He wouldn't let you go, wouldn't use you at all, but wouldn't let you go. He wouldn't let you go. Like, you're going to sit this contract out. And then we sit your contract out. You can't even wrestle for 30 days after the 30 days. So you're
90. It was 90 days. It was 90 days.
You got, okay, I'm going to pay you, but I'm not going to use you. So I hope you save your money. Then you can't even talk to nobody for 90 days. And then you got, like, now I can't, I'm not working and I still can't work. And now it's like with Tony Khan, it's like you're becoming everything you hate. And now it's like you said, some people got to go. You can't hold everybody like, all right. But like Khan was like, if we had a wrestler, you give somebody a unlimited checkbook and you can hire all the wrestlers you want to hire, you're going to hire whoever you can. And like, you got all these shiny new toys, you got all these cars in the garage, you got 50 cars. You can't drive 50 cars. Gas don't even last that long in cars.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't drive 50 cars. You can't. You got to sell.
So, let me ask you this question.
All right.
AEW Collision, is that 1A or is that B?
That is B.
That's B.
That's B.
Because Dynamite is supposed to be Raw and Collision is like SmackDown.
Well, we already know that Raw and SmackDown switch places, so we're not going to do that right now.
But for the people who wouldn't understand, that's the
correlation.
I got you. And they're 2 hours apiece, yes?
Yes. Correct.
So there's a different group of people on Dynamite and a different group of people on Collision.
It should be because it's kind of like Raw and SmackDown back in the everybody on the same show. But it's when they split the brand split, that's when they split up everything.
So I'm saying this to say that something that they may need to explore is separating these two things and making Dynamite and Collision two separate entities similar to Raw and SmackDown. That way, you can divvy up these folks that are just sitting back there and give them more time on one show, and they don't interact with the other show unless it's needed for, just like WWE, some big time pay-per-view. Like, you don't need to have everybody trying to fight for this 4 hours between them of story time when Mox is on this one with his group and he's over here on this group. So now he's taking time from both places when he should just be taking time from one place.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I think that you're going to still have to remove some people, but you can figure out who is going to give you the next move for 2025 by splitting them up and pruning as you split up.
I agree.
Who's the main people? Who's already in storylines? Let's move them to the front of the thing. And those who are sitting in catering, almost eeny, meeny, miny, mo or type of situation, you got to figure out when you talk to your creative team. Do we want to move forward with this guy or do we not? You're going to have to trim some of the WWE stuff off, or matter of fact, don't trim the WWE stuff. Stop letting them in, and build your own talent. You have WWE running these factions. No one's walking around dolo. Everybody's in a faction. That's another part that I had a problem with in the beginning. It's just way too many factions.
I agree.
So there's nobody walking around like in WWE, you've got like maybe 4 factions for real, and then everyone else is walking around. Either they got a homie or they walking dolo. Everybody's in a 4 and 5 man group. How does that work for competition? You can't create anything new because everybody's who's going to fight for the AEW title when everybody's in a group with the guy that has the title. He can't fight for it, and the smaller guys behind the big fish in another faction they can't fight for it because it has to be the big fish. You see what I'm saying? Everybody don't need to be in a group. So that's a problem I have, and I feel like that's also a problem when we're talking about once like when we're saying his name. Once you get the title, who do they fight? If everybody's in a group, who are they going to fight? There needs to be more singular competition.
So they do a really good job of not making women factions.
Not making what?
No, they do a really good job of not putting all the women in factions.
Because they can't.
I did notice that. It's more if the women are pretty much dolo, and then some of them are like the female piece to another group.
Yeah, so like how
and there's nothing wrong with that. They got it right.
Your girl Anna Jay and Ty Conti, they were rolling around together a lot.
Right. And now Anna Jay, I think she's with at first she was with Brody Lee, Brody and them. And then
that's Julia Hart.
Yeah.
Who was Anna with?
Anna's one of Dolo, bro. She's Dolo right now. Cause remember,
not before. She was with a squad. She was with some folks.
She was with Tay Conti before Tay got pregnant.
She was walking around with a boyfriend or something. She had affiliations with a group.
Oh, I think she was with. Was it that? No, that wasn't Paige's group. Soraya's group. That was Soraya. What's the girl's name? Like she got.
I'm not talking about them. I'm
trying to be jogging my memory, but every time I see Ty Conti, she's always with or near.
I know that part. I know that part.
But
yeah, I know that part.
She had a feud with Mercedes Moné, and she was by herself at that point.
Right.
I have to go back in history when she first popped up. So anyway, in any case, so yeah, with the women, it did a pretty good job. In all honesty, if a lot of times it feels like the women are the ones that's running AEW in a sense, as far as like popularity is concerned, because Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, Mariah May, you've got all this other talent. That's Willow Nightingale was top notch at one point. Like you got all these people.
Chris Statlander.
You got all these folk the women are really running things in a sense right now, on AEW brand. The guys, I've noticed that they put the guys matches first, and then the women came after them after like 4 matches. I said, "Oh, that's interesting." So it's like, and it's not a shade on the men. It's just that the women are putting more of a show as far as like the acting is concerned, the interaction.
So I guess this question: do you think the women feel like they have something more to prove because they're limited? And it makes people like, yo, these women are going harder than the dudes.
They got more to prove because goddamn Mercedes Moné got 4 titles, and I'm trying to fight one for one.
I feel like the ladies, and this is clearly I'm not a woman, so I can't really speak for them, but I feel like the ladies have always had, quote unquote, something to prove because this is a male dominated industry. So they've been the evolution, all these different things that were happening in New Japan. Everything was pushing for these moments for these women to have these major moments, and rightfully so. If Toni Storm, Mariah May are top notch, if Mercedes Moné is top notch, anybody she deal with is getting put over somehow, like you can't deny that.
Like one of
the same things happen in WWE. You can't deny what you're seeing. These women are putting on a show.
Like I know, and like I said, going back to say, I know people are tired of Mercedes Moné, but give her credit. She helped elevate Willow Nightingale. People knew who she was, but when she started feuding with Moné, her stock went up.
Yeah. And this Harley match is about to happen in Australia can put Harley on. Like she's already, I already like Harley. She's gritty in the field, and she's hilarious, and she has multiple talents. Like she's really good. I like her as an overall talent. This feud that she's doing right now with Mercedes Moné, I think is going to give her some real good push. if they play their cards right.
That's
Don't
issue.
squash her in the match. That's gonna piss me off if you squash her.
She's not gonna
do not squash this one.
She's not gonna get squashed. But it's just if she does win.
I'm personally, I say she gets the title because okay, we get it. She has 4 titles on. We can take one off now. It's time.
Okay,
we can do this. It's time.
Before we get back into the main topic, do you think what's more important? The person that beats Mercedes Moné for the first title, or is like anybody after that is elevation? Because like she got about 4 belts. Like, is the person that beats her for the first title a big deal, or is it going to be like once she start losing belts, like, all right, you just losing, we don't care?
I don't think it's going. It's not going. I don't think it's going to be a big deal on some you broke the streak Goldberg type situation. It's not going to be that.
It's going to be
It's not going to be that.
It's going to be a crowd pop because they're going to be in Australia, her home country. If she wins the title, she's going to get the crowd going to be on her side.
A crowd favorite taking one of the belts from the heel that has them all. That's money right there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not going to take away from what Mercedes has. She still got 3 and 4 chips still. Like, it doesn't take away from her. It's just because it's not like she put on all my belts all or nothing. Like this isn't all in, and I'm just taking all my belts and like I'm putting in all my chips. If you beat me, you can have them all. It's not like that.
And
it's one of her belts.
I need to apologize before we move on to the subject. We talk about women wrestlers. I forgot about one of the greatest ones right now, Athena. Athena has been banging. She is.
But isn't she? Is she on ROH right now?
She's the longest
ROH.
She's the longest reigning ROH champion right now.
But ROH isn't really on television, is it?
But that's what I'm trying to say. You have.
But this
is where it gets me pissed off because like you have money, you have a really good talent in Athena. Why is Athena? Because she was on AEW before she went to ROH, but she found her comfort zone. But like Athena is so good, she's been carrying this company. She's been putting on bigger match for this Ring of Honor Tour title. Let her drop that ROH title and do what she's doing on Dynamite and have a run for a main title. She could go for one of Mercedes titles. She can go for one of. She can get.
She still has time. If they decide to do that, she still has time to do that. Okay, I would love to see ROH on television. I think it would give more push for people to be interested in the product because Ring of Honor, they over there, they get to it. So I don't know if this is randomly thinking. I don't know if AEW helped or hurt ROH's stock.
Hurt.
What
are you talking about?
That's a hurt.
No.
Do you not know that 90% of the wrestlers that came from ROH or in AEW, ROH ain't got nothing to work with.
Okay, so all right, so I was okay. So that was my first initial feeling because this is not on television. For me now, it's like they've reduced it almost to like a developmental brand.
It kind of is.
And it's not okay. It's not okay. They tried it. They bought ROH, they tried it, and they need to give it back.
Let's be real before we get back to our subject. We know why Tony Khan bought ROH. And it wasn't because he wanted the talent. He just wanted that damn library. And he pulled a person we ain't gonna talk about. And just like he did ECW. Kept it around just to keep it around. Hey, I got ECW, guys. Then he threw it to the ground. Like, nigga, like, gosh damn. When ROH went under, when they took that time off, they should have just stayed gone because
all these negatives that you keep saying is another reason why people aren't really in it.
But it's pointing the obvious out though. It's negative, but you point out the obvious. But it's like it goes back to, like I said, AEW. Like we said,
AEW will and shall be its own worst enemy because no matter how much good the company will do, they are always taking 2 steps back. They are holding themselves back.
There we go. And I guess I'll ask this question, and I said it before. Do you think AEW needs somebody else over creative?
Yes, 100%. 100%.
All right.
Job,
Absolutely.
me and Job
Absolutely.
had this conversation many years ago. Hey, yo, I love the Bucks and Kenny. Y'all gonna make y'all minds up. Y'all gotta make it up
Yeah,
real quick. Y'all gotta
But do
make
you
it up.
think?
I'm not with it.
My next question is: with if Kenny was to leave, the books are right out the door, and he leaves. Do you think if they left, AEW would be better?
It's gonna
I
one is gonna have some deep shoes to fill. Two, you're gonna have to surround yourself with the right people to make a good product.
I feel that the EVP thing needs to die. And if they remove it, then they'll be able to build the product. I only say the EVP thing. I only do that. I'll just say I personally I'm not a fan of the whole EVP title, whatever the situation is. I'm not a big fan of it. But if Kenny and the Bucks leave, I mean I don't see the Bucks on television right now. So
They were in Japan.
yeah, stay over there. I don't care.
They
We
just
don't.
they
They don't.
just they just lost the New Japan titles and they're about to make their way back to the company.
But but
So,
he gonna
but
he gonna wrap.
so but no, hold on before you wrap it up. So my point is that if and I'm not saying and I got no problem with Kenny, I got no problem with the Young Bucks, but I think that them being in that position, I think that kind of makes things a little funky over there. Just let it be what it is. Let creative handle their business. Everybody get into the storylines they're supposed to get into, and let's just keep it moving. And no one, none of the talent needs to be anybody's boss. That's all I'm saying. None of the talent needs anybody's boss. WWE, and I'm just using them as example because obviously it's the biggest one that I've never seen outside of like maybe Triple H because
Just
of the authority and all
not
that.
to say well, even before
Outside of
then, the reign of
but
terror.
he wasn't that guy when he started. You get what I'm saying?
He wasn't. He wasn't.
That the company was been built for 20, 30 years prior, 40, whatever, before AW, whatever. Before that happened, it's already been established. And then as he moved up in the company, he expressed whatever interest and he became that guy. And it changed all his storylines around. But it never, he's the only one. It's always been creative that was making the moves for the wrestlers. They had some type of control over their own storyline, but for the most part, it was people who were not wrestling or not the talent that was making things happen. I think AEW can possibly change their module on how they do that because it worked for 5 minutes when you had people like Big Show and Mark Henry and so on and so forth, older guys from WWE because they can put you in the right direction.
That's what I
But
meant
they don't
by
like
they need to have the right people. They don't have
yeah.
the right people. And granted, Uncle Eric Bischoff and all these other old heads on the internet want to complain and talk about I can run a company better. If I was in their shoes, I'd do this.
I'm glad you said that. Hold on, wait.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. All these old heads saying what they could do to make this company better. Why don't you just go out and help make it better? Now, granted, if they call Khan up and say, yo, I think I get it. He said no, all right, cool, I get it. But it's like saying you can help somebody and you know they need their help, they can't change a flat tire, and you said, man, I can help them. I can help them, but then go help them then.
Here's my thing. You don't have to get the old guys to be your producers. You look at WWE, you got a lot of people who were young then who are fairly still young now, like Jason Jordan and Jamie Noble and a gang of others. These guys who help the product continue. Say again.
They do a damn good job.
I give them credit.
They push the product forward. They get the stories out, and they're younger, so they understand the young talent's moves. You got these old guys. Oh, the purity of this and that and the third. Okay, but that's not what the people want to see anymore. Not to that extent. So that's why FTR is the last ones left.
Well, there's also the Outrunners. I don't know if you've seen the Outrunners yet.
I have not.
Oh, when you see the Outrunners, you're gonna laugh your ass off when you see the. But
no, that's cool. That's cool.
That's what I'm just trying to say. Like an Eric Bischoff and Jim Cornette, like y'all's mindset of what professional wrestling is not the same as what it would be. And I feel like your input and thoughts on what you would do or try to do in AEW will hurt the company more than try to help.
I'd rather them be consultants and not leaders.
Yeah, don't put your hand in nothing. don't touch the product.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you this is a super random example. I'm not saying that he's good at anything, but I'm just giving an example. On NXT, Fandango just came back. He's fairly he's like 30, 40 years old or whatever. He spent plenty of time doing comedic work, winning, losing. I think he had a couple titles or whatever on the main roster. I forget exactly what happened with him.
They did not win that tag team title, to my knowledge.
I don't remember him and
it was Breezango. It was Tyler Breeze.
Breezango, yeah. I don't think they did. They may have.
Nope.
Side note, Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly is Breezango 2.0. But anyway, so the point I'm making is that he came back, but he came back to NXT. Clearly, he's back to help push the product, right? Guys of his caliber, of his age, being in AEW and being behind the scenes, being able to come from one era and understand a different era and be able to push them using both the bit of knowledge that they have, I think will be a good thing for AEW. I like the product as far as them they flying all over the place, so on and so forth. All that is cool. But like you got okay, all right, I'll give you an example. I just recently watched this. The Swerve versus Ricochet match, right? This is from a product standpoint. Ricochet had the upper hand at the beginning of the match. Now we've all seen Ricochet, whatever he's doing in the back, in catering and stuff, when he's talking to Swerve, and this character that he's portraying, right? This suit guy with glasses on, he's got scissors in his pocket, blah 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 blah. So this persona, people are actually like, I kind of like this guy. I kind of like what he's doing. He's playing into the cats don't like me type situation. That's fine. When he got to the match, he didn't bring any of that character into the match itself. So those little things where he's like, aha! He didn't do none of that type of stuff to Swerve when he was whooping on him. These are the things that get people invested in you. He keeps looking around at the crowd like you're doing babyface Ricochet stuff. Don't do that. That's not what you're on heel time. You're pointing this way. You're doing the Ricochet stuff. Don't do that, bro. You're on a different type of time. That's where his ability to push a character is falling off for me. Because as soon as Swerve took over, Swerve immediately started doing Swerve stuff, and it's like, here you go. Because Swerve has that aura about him, and he started doing Swerve stuff. After he smacked him one time, put him on the ground, he said one thing, and the crowd went crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not even catering to you're not doing it. Now, once the match was over, he did a dope move when he went over. I think he pushed Nana down and then grabbed what's his name's robe and walked out. That's cool. I just wish that you had some of that heel work inside the match. So Ricochet is great at bouncing all over the place, but that's not enough. If you want to compete with WWE, that's not enough. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So these are the things that I'm not interested in your product because you're not doing enough of the other stuff that keeps us interested. We've seen y'all do this flip 100 times. Where's the story there was a story behind it. Where's the story that's where's the meat to the bones? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So with that being said, before we get out of here, how many years do we think AEW got?
That boy gonna say TNA.
Because like there was a point in time I thought TNA going.
There's one more thing I need to say, or one more thing that I feel, and y'all don't have to respond to anything. It doesn't have to be no big topic, but there's one more thing that on my list of bullet points. Your commentary team is dry. They're dry. In the moments when they should be talking and hyping it up, There's silence. It's dry. You gotta push the product. You can't. You're the icing on the cake. You have to be able to speak between these moments so that people can feel, or so you can make people feel what you want them to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're not talking, it's silent in the building, dead silent. You have to talk. These people are not going to make noise for you. It's not a full stadium. It's 5,000, 10,000 people in here. It's not 25, 30,000 people like Madison Square Gardens with WWE. You have to do more. So these guys, there was a whole point. Um, Matter of fact, no, was it that match? It was a different match. I forget what match it was that night. But Cass was getting tossed over the commentary table and all that stuff. It was silent the whole time. Why y'all not talking? Y'all
Shit, the
gotta be like, oh, that was crazy. Ah, snap. Oh, he almost
headset,
hit me. Ah, he's
headset
dead.
probably got
That man is
unplugged.
dead. Say it again.
The headset probably came unplugged.
No, it didn't. They were just fine. Don't make excuses for that.
If I'm not
But
mistaken, the current commentary team is Excalibur, Tony
it's
Schiavone,
Tony Schiavone,
and
and
Nigel McGuinness.
I forget the other dude name.
Nigel McGuinness. Was it Nigel up there?
No,
I
not
It
think
might
it's
have been.
because Taz is on Collision. I think
Yeah, it wasn't Taz for sure.
it was Nigel
It might have
McGuinness.
been Nigel.
No, it
So
is
Yeah.
Taz. It's Taz. It's Taz.
Now, at the same time, when Mariah May was out there with them, Mariah May was causing them to make reactions and because she was speaking too, so it gave more color to the commentary.
that
But
also
when
goes
there's
back.
nobody sitting next to them, when nobody's with them, they just sitting there. They dry.
Fun fact that Mariah May thing. Uh, two
I was
things. One, she tries to sexually seduce Tony Schiavone. I don't know why she tried to seduce him, but multiple times that man has said to her, "I'm a married man. Do not come for me." And
Nah, if she tried it, it was hilarious.
she tried
She tried
her
it.
best.
all right. We
She
gotta bring
tried
it
it.
to
Nah, it's a ball club, the ball club.
So okay, so yeah, so
5 years.
Bryce, did you have your
5 years.
answer? You said 5 years.
5 years or less.
Um, based on what I said, or that my issues and stuff like that, I also said 5 years. Um, if they don't make changes, I don't see them going past 2030 at all.
You got first and foremost, if you want to go more years, you got to cut more people. You're gonna have a really long, deep talk with your current talent and build and stabilize your up and comers. Just don't build them so they can go somewhere else. Build and stabilize them so they
Okay.
can be the next
And
people to carry
and
the flag.
and your creative needs to be stronger. Creative there's a few things that you can tweak between creative commentary. Even your film quality can be tweaked a bit if you
Right.
want to. There was a couple times like they did an overhead shot. The overhead camera did not look like the rest of the cameras on the floor. Like who did you use? You used some somebody's personal camera. Like whatever was hanging up above, it wasn't working for whatever else was going on. So it's just like um yeah, it's so many things that you can tweak. So many things.
Good. I'm not saying AEW is a bad product.
At
Like Tony
all.
said,
Right.
it's a good alternative. I want
It
it to
is.
I want it to succeed, but it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to make a big change in the future.
All right. Before we get out of here,
Agreed.
final thoughts, Butcher.
AEW, I fell in love with you the first time I saw you, way back in 2018. I still with you, COVID and everything. Make me love wrestling again, because I do not enjoy what I've been seeing, and it's getting kind of bland. Make me fall in love again with wrestling, or I'm out the door.
All right. All right. Final thoughts.
Yeah. So what I'll say, I also like the AEW brand. I like what they have over there. It's so much potential. I'm loving Swerve. I'm loving Kenny. Um, I like what I'm seeing with a lot of guys and ladies too. Excuse me. Um, so you just gotta do those tweaks, man. Just do the tweaks. Um, I mean, I'm just a guy. I'm just a guy watching the show. There's some tweaks that you can make them. I think the product can go far. I think you can go well past 5 years if you make some subtle changes. That's all I'm saying.
All right. With that being said, this has been another episode of Beer with the Boys. I am the captain speaking, the butcher, and the enforcer. Thank you for tuning in. Leave all your comments in the comments section. Topics you want us to cover. If you enjoyed this episode, please comment, like, subscribe, and share it. And like always, we will see you next week. Peace.